Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, it is chilly out today. A lot cooler than it was yesterday, that's for sure. Wow. Anyhow, guys, I was reading two articles today, and one of them I had touched base on yesterday. It was a different article, and today's article on the same subject is a lot stronger. So, the UN had come out and requested central banks, at least that was reported yesterday, to, kind of cut back or freeze the interest rate hikes. Well, this article came out this morning saying now the U.S. demands that they actually cut it. And the language is a whole lot stronger. And not only cutting interest rates, but now they're saying, hey, implement pricing controls. Well, what did we talk about there yesterday, guys? Capital controls on money. That is exactly what they're going to do. That's what's going to come out. They are talking about controlling prices in the marketplace where the government has actual influence, specific influence on the pricing of various goods and services. Now, when you're looking at that, what do you call that, guys? That is absolute government influence and interference in the free market. But look, these are the same folks that created this monstrous mess in the first place. They have these top-notch economists working on their payrolls, and they pay literally hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to get this advice, in these times and making their monetary policy. Well, what did they do when this whole C dump comes out? Well, they just turned on the money machine and started printing like crazy. And they knew full well exactly what they were doing. They were inflating their currencies. They realized that this is going to cause a massive impact on the economy going forward. They locked everybody down, no one going to work and all this kind of stuff, and literally crushed the world economy, global economy. And they did it intentionally and with strategic precision to boot. So it's no small wonder that we're seeing inflation just skyrocket all around the globe with all these various central banks and sovereign monetary instruments that they issue. So now the UN comes in to save the day and say, oh, well, cut that, stop those interest rate hikes, which actually, if they did raise it significantly enough, could in fact curb inflation. Nope, we're going to stop that. And we're going to throw in pricing controls and let the world governments get in there and influence directly the free market. So as a result of that, what are you going to see, guys? You're going to see deflationary results that are going to be ridiculous. Drop in housing prices, drop in all these various things. And that's what leads to a depressionary event with hyperinflation going nuts. And at the same time, seeing deflation in asset values. It is going to be crazy. Now, on top of that, I'm reading another article where, basically these central banks want to take over and control the digital asset space. And I thought, you have got to be kidding. That's like letting the fox into the henhouse. These are the same folks that inflated this fiat system to its literal demise. And now they want to take over the digital asset space and control that through all these various monetary controls and all the like, all these regulatory bodies and whatnot, and they want to exert control over that. Why? So that they do not ever lose control of these monetary systems. Look, we've heard it all said, and I agree with this statement. Before these central banks give up monetary power, the tanks will be rolling out on the streets. You know it. So expect to see a lot of regulatory framework coming out very, very soon around the globe, whereby it gives these regulatory agencies way more control over this digital asset space than what they ever had. Now, I have always thought that, look, once you see institutional adoption go big time, that you are going to see all these publicly trading houses like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and all these other ones, and all these central banks that are going to take on, all these exchanges, these crypto exchanges. Now, either number one, they're going to buy them out and own them directly and do it that way, which I think would be the road of least resistance, or they're going to bring in all their regulatory buddies and sue the dickens out of them. But one way or another, they are going to get control of this trading space. Now, we have had the benefit of being our own brokers in the sense that we don't go through an intermediary. We actually take our fiat money, get it onto an exchange, and we decide what the purchase is. And yes, we have paid the exchange fee, but we're not paying brokerage fees and custody fees and all those other fees that go along with traditional markets. Well, I think that's going to change. I think you're going to see a regulatory framework where folks that want to get into crypto are going to have to go through brokerages, and those different cryptos more than likely are going to have to be custodied in some sort of a custody fashion, similar to how stocks and all those things are traded. And the reason I believe that is because that would give them a level of control over this marketplace. And if they wanted to, look, all your other securities and things like that, like, your stocks and bonds, they can be seized, guys. They can be totally seized by any kind of enforcement agency, tax department, or somebody sues you, on and on and on. But with your crypto, when you hold those private keys, no one can take it from you. Now, I don't know what it's going to totally fan out like, but it would not surprise me to see those kind of legislative changes and, for regulatory controls come into play, because they want control. It's all about control. It's always ever been about control, and it's about controlling you and controlling me and controlling this whole economy to take it in the directions that they want it to go. And it's certainly not to benefit you and I. I mean, when you look at these central banks and the whole fractional reserve system, that, you can have less than 10%, hold back less than 10%, and in some cases zero, for the funds that are on deposit. When you deposit your fiat into the bank, it's no longer yours, and the bank can lend it out, at all these ridiculous rates, 10 times the amount that they have on deposit. That's okay. But, when you and I try to enter into this crypto space, this digital asset space, and, we want to do yield farming or something like that, oh, that's absolutely nefarious. We can't allow that. Why? Because it goes against their ability to control the system. Look, if you're not even earning 1% on your money in the bank, why on earth would you not put it into USDC and at least get a yield of 3, 4, 5%? And that's what they're competing against. So guys, expect it. It is going to be something ridiculous. Now, with respect to all these central banks ceasing to raise interest rates, like I said yesterday, capital controls, price controls. They are going to enter into the marketplace, and they are going to take over this free market and absolutely decimate it like they have everything else. At least that's how I see it. Or they're going to put in certain levels of capital controls that are just going to make it very difficult for average folks to kind of get out from underneath these boots. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Now, guys, look, we are coming up on 5,000 subscribers. And there is something I really want to do. I'm going to do as a celebration of that once we cross that threshold, probably next week sometime when we do this. But I want to do our first live stream. And I really want to have the ability to kind of interact with you guys, like in real time. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. So we're going to look forward to that next week. I'm going to try and see how that gets set up, reach out to a few people that have reached out to me, and maybe get some help in doing it, because I'm not that technical, at least not yet. Anyhow, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we got a fantastic video coming out this afternoon. And until then, take care.